Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Group 3 presenting. Ours is after the training, which has to do with the evaluation of the training. And having evaluated the training, the evaluation has to do that it has to affect the 3 domains.
Louder, please.
Okay, can you hear me now, sir? Hello? Hello?
Please, can be louder. Thank you, please.
It can be louder, okay. I'm starting all over again. I said, our is after the training, which has to do more with evaluation of the 3 areas of which we want change. And that is in the knowledge area, in the skill development area, as well as the attitude area, the attitudinal change in the people that has been trained. And so far, so good. We discovered that these changes has actually started affecting in the life of the trainee. And so for that, I think the training is a top up. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Group 3 have done it. Mentioned that evaluation is critical at this group, at this stage, of after training program activity, that you evaluate to measure the impacts of the training. However, he has also informed us at the background here that there are also some other levels of evaluation that was done while the training was ongoing. So as the training is ongoing, then there's some kind of evaluation that is done by eliciting responses from the participants, where trainers, the trainer or the facilitator ask questions, and be able to measure the assimilation level of the participants at each phase. So that's what is the ongoing evaluation, according to Patrick. Some of us know about that. You can go through that and read about evaluation. Okay, group 2 and 1, can we have you on the floor? Group 1 and 2, please.
Okay, thank you for group 2.
Yeah, okay, thank you so much.
Our own were meant to look at activities during the program.
Yes.
And we looked at, first of all, to ensure during the program, the environment is conducive such that there won't be distraction, everybody could be carried along. Then facilitation of the program, then presentation of what had been prepared, all the slides, ensuring there is effective communication. Then during the program, coordinating all the activities, including tea break, lunch break, ensuring that there is smooth running of activities. Then we ensured attendance during the program. Then before the closure of the program, ensure all along feedback so that to ensure there is effective communication and you do evaluation. So these were the activities we highlighted from group 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, there are a whole lot of activities in that very particular group. During program activity, there are a whole lot of activities there, but at least you'll be able to hit at some of the key activities there. There you will begin to look at inviting participants, facilitators, reminding facilitators, be on their neck, sending them messages, giving them calls. So please, you will be expecting you in the class, also type as well, please, so that you know and you are too sure that they will not disappoint you. It's also good that you coordinate the activities of catering. Like we know that food is important. Without the food, without our meals, without the lunch, the training will not be effective. Participants will complain. So you need to do what? Prepare and make sure that the caterer which you have hired is up to the game. So he or she plays his or her game adequately. Okay, that is from Lara. Go ahead, please. Is that for group 1? Group 2? Okay, yeah. Okay, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, this is Lara Olomoda.
Okay, yeah.
The program.
Okay.
We highlighted the training needs, assessment, determining the learning objectives, developing the content of the training. Then we also prepared to look out for resource persons and resources that will be engaged in the training. We also including that.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me, please?
I can hear you, yeah.
Sourcing all upon the budgeting. So the budgeting is going to come after all this. We are going to look at what we have and be able to fit it into our budget. So that's what I've looked at for the pre-program activities.
Very key, very key. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I will give a run of our activities in all of these stages, both pre-program activities, during program activities, and after program activities. I will give a run of it. I have it here in this slide for you. And you'll see what it takes to deliver, to prepare for a training program. Of course, at the pre-program activities, you made mention of the issue of budgeting. Budgeting is is key to the success of any program. You must have a budget at hand. Number one, you have to consider the venue you are using. Is it a venue that requires that you will pay for it, or is inbuilt into your own organization? If you have to go outside there, to man this training, that means you are going to hire a venue. What is the cost of hiring that venue? You have to note it. For each day times number of days of the program, you calculate the amount and keep it there as the cost of hiring that venue. Then you are getting a caterer who will be in charge of the lunch and the tea break. Of course, you have to inquire and find out how much it will cost for that caterer to deliver these services. And then you multiply it by the number of, for example, if the tea break is will cost 1,000 naira per person, then and you have in your class 35 participants, and of course you know that there should be some addition, maybe extra 3 for the facilitators, or extra 4 or 5, or as the case may be, depending on the operational ethics in your, the operational laws in your organization. Now, if you have 35 participants, naturally, then you have additional 5, that is 40. Then, and the caterer says the tea break is 1,000 naira per person. And what it means that you multiply 1,000 naira by 40 by the number, multiply again by the number of days that training program will last. That will give you the cost for that tea break. And for the lunch, you do it the same. If the lunch is going to cost 2,000 naira per head, per participant, then what it means that you make 40, since you have 35 participants, and then the guideline in your organization says extra 5 should be added, then 5 plus 35 will be 40. Now 40 times 2,000 naira per day times number of days the program will last. If it's a 5-day program, then that's 5 days. If it's a 10 days program, times 10 days. Then you put the cost there. And at the end of the day, you put the people you pay. Of course, you pay the support staff. You give them some allowance. Of course, not that you're paying, but there are some stipend I will give them to motivate them, to encourage them to put up the best effort. So how much does it cost? You put it up there. For a day, maybe each support staff, you have about 3 or 4 support staff in the class. Maybe if the operational guideline says 2,000 naira or 3,000 naira per each support staff per day, then we multiply by the number of days they're going to support that program. Then times the number of persons, support staff you have, I'll give you the figure there. Then you do that for other things. And at the end of the day, you have a good look at the amount, the cost of that training program, or managing that training program. And then since you have your revenue that each participant is paying 100,000 naira or 200,000 naira for that training program. They are paying, for example, 200,000 naira for that training program, and you have 35 participants. Now your revenue will be the 35 participants times 200,000 naira. Now you subtract the cost you incur for mounting that training program from that revenue. From that, you will know whether you are breaking even or not. You now know the balance. Now you also need to take care of what do they call it? The ones I gave you is direct cost, indirect cost. The indirect costs are the cost of activities. I mean, the cost of those equipment, those tools that you're using or you're going to use in the training, in the training program, assuming you're hiring them from outside. For example, the organization has this laptop, this is owned by the organization, the laptop, and then you're going to use it for the training. Now, if you're going to rent this laptop from the outside, if you're going outside to rent it, it will cost you maybe 10,000 naira per day. Now you put it there 10 times. How many days? The program is going to last for 10 days. 10,000 naira times 10. That will give you the cost of renting this laptop. If the projector has that kind of cost also, you put it there, and then the projector is from a company or your organization. So these ones are indirect costs. So you also take care of them, but that does not mean that it will have effects on the break-even. It will help you, yeah, it will help you to guide you whether you're making a gain or a loss. And you're moving ahead or run that program at a loss. That will guide you. And that is one of the policies, one of the determinants of the approval from management. If management sees all of these things and they will look at it and say, okay, go ahead and run the program, they will approve it. If it is not surplus, if you're having a negative surplus, that means you are losing because of running that program. That means the organization is even bringing on from somewhere to inject in that training program. They will not approve the budget. That means the program will be cancelled. So these are the activities we look at during before the program. Then you look at the venue. You go out there to check for the venue. There are a lot of things to check out there for a venue. Is the venue conducive? Is it conducive for learning? Do they have adequate power supply? Do they have this good sitting arrangement? You consider the chairs, the table, consider the comfortability of your participants. Very, very key. Is it accessible? You look at the accessibility of the venue. Is it accessible to every participant? Is it close to a given hotel where your participants, assuming some of them may like to lodge? You look at all those things. Then you can go ahead. For some of them that will make a request ahead of time, please help me make a book in a hotel. Help them book for a hotel and even arrange for the logistic, activity there. The hotel drivers will come to the venue to pick them and go back. So these are the activities you have to consider before the training program. There are a whole lot of activities. I'm going to write it down. But let's look at this number 2. The question number 2. He said the role of a training coordinator is not different from the functions of a management. Also, the functions of management. Planning, and of course, we know that the functions of management includes planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Explain. So, how is the role of a coordinator the same as the function of a manager, for example? Because a manager plans, a manager organizes, a manager leads, and a manager controls. So, how is a coordinator? How can he be called a manager, a training manager? Anybody can speak about this? I would like to hear from some other individuals. Yes, sir. Yeah. In other words, we can call a training administrator or a training coordinator a manager. This about this, okay. So what does it do? Similar to a training, the functions of a training manager. Yes. Manage. Okay. A manager. Yes. Facilitators. Supporting. Good. Yes. Now, we are hearing from the background that the coordinator manages, he plays the functions of management because he manages the participants, he manages the support staff, he manages the what? The facilitators and the venue. Good. Good. Now, what of organizing, leading? he has to lead in every activity. So he has to take authority. So that is it. He controls whatever goes on in that training program. Assuming there is any failure, any issue somewhere, he has to attend to that issue. He has to, even the budget, promptly he has to attend to that issue. Then even the budget, he controls the budget, the expenses. You know, he would not allow too much expenses to be incurred because of running that program. You know, so that the organization will not heap the blame on him. So he controls even the support team. He controls everyone. Trying to play the kind of leading role. He's a leader. You know, he has the ability to organize. So it's very, very important that we know all this. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Would not be. Yes. The comment, yes. So that's one why so we can learn from them. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's see the activities in training administration, program planning, program coordination, sourcing for resource persons, very key, very, very key. Sourcing for resource persons is very key. And it's one activity that you must start on time because something you have to start for a long time planning for. So you have to begin at that time looking for your resource persons, the facilitators. You bring them on board, tell them what you want and give them the time, give them the sessions, let them prepare on time. And of course, be able to collect the sessions back from them on time. Then coordination, of course, the coordinating team is there. But that's okay. Preparation and provision of training materials is on the training materials, just as the bags, training bags, the writing pen, writing materials, the what again, all of them. The program delivery, the program evaluation, program reporting. Like Group 3 said, you evaluate the training program at the end of the day to measure the impact of the training. Yeah, and of course, from that evaluation, give reports of how the training felt. Yeah, there are some other activities that also embedded in that last group, that Group 3. Okay. Then coordination and the coordination and the resource team. We have program coordinator, we have internal resource persons, and we have internal resource person. Assuming you are bringing in somebody from outside to come and facilitate that training program, then you are an external resource person. Then we have the administrative or support staff. They are very key. These are the coordinating teams. The coordinating and the resource team. Okay. Now, in the business of training, there are certain clothes or dresses that is acceptable for each particular set of training. For example, for the man there, the dress, so I don't know if you can see. Can you see the presentation? Now, if you see the different attire there, you see the man that is suited with a long tie. This man is for a particular set of training, a training like this, a formal training like this. And you see the lady on suit also. And then you see the other one also on suit. It might be suitable for certain of fashion. It might be suitable for certain of fashion. Then you see the other one also, might also be for fashion. But you will see this one. You see the ones that they have open back. I don't know if you can see that. Yes. Now you see the ones for what kind of training is it? Okay. Now, assuming you bring these people to facilitate the training program. Okay, yeah, okay. Now, assuming you bring this kind of people to facilitate this kind of training program, is it suitable? No. Now, but to other type of training program, they are suitable, for, more especially for those ones that their bars are open. These ones whose bars are open, then you can take them to fashion, trainings like the fashion display or modeling. It can be suitable. So for each particular training, there is a particular dress code for it. So just note that. Okay. Now let me run through this pre-program activity. Okay. Before program activity, we have first among the activities, prepare workshop schedule. What is the workshop schedule? That is timetable. Obtain management approval for the workshop. Publicize the workshop, fire circulars, notices, posters, handbills, call letters, etc. Secure and manage conducive training venue. Compile nominations of participants. Of course, organizations that send their participants, their employees for that training, you compile their names. That will help you in building up their budget. That will have given you a good idea of the number of participants in that program. Then prepare a draft of the training budget, very, very key. For your budget to be approved on time, you prepare it and then send to the management for approval. Now, invite the resource persons. How do you invite them? Put up notices, letter, attach the timetable with the letter, and then send to them. Then confirm the resource person's acceptance or rejection of invitation. Very, very important. You don't just send letters and then you assume that he's available or she's available. And on the last day, he or she will disappoint you because he has some other engagement somewhere. So you have to follow up. You have to confirm that they are available or they will not even come because they have other engagement. So you have to confirm that. Don't relent. You have to do what? Continue to follow up. Collect soft copies of training sessions from each resource person. It's very, very important that you collect these soft copies of time, although some facilitators will keep telling you that they work till even the last moment when they enter the class. Yes, we have facilitators that do that, but you can collect the sketch of what they have at the moment so that as they keep updating their papers, they keep sending to you. Now produce handouts or lecture materials, timetables, and arrange for instructional materials. Very, very important. You produce the handouts or lecture materials. Now we have the electronic, send some of this through the electronic, means, but the electronic versions of all of these materials. We'll send it. Okay, identify and secure relevant audiovisual materials. What are the audiovisual materials? The projectors, the microphones, those things that will help you deliver an effective training. Then procure relevant stationaries, including training bags. Procure them, make sure they are available. Those writing materials, they should be made available. Prepare fire jackets and training modules for participants. Now we'll give bags. So the bags have come to replace the fire jacket. So it's important that you prepare for that. The club catering services and confessionaries, etc. There are a lot of them. They regularly keep in touch with the resource persons. It's very important that you regularly keep in touch with the resource persons because at the dying minute when you need them most, they might disappoint you. So that's the reason why you must keep in touch with them. Some notices to collaborative divisions, e.g. transport, accounts, maintenance, extra services divisions. So in your organization, there are other support division or departments, those departments that will render some kind of support to the training department. So make sure that you keep in touch with them and send notices to them, inform them so that they will play their own role. You cannot do it alone. Like somebody said that training is a project. So yes, if it's a project, then we must manage that project because no one individual cannot manage projects alone. You have to have a team of project managers so that you'll be able to manage it. Let those in the transport division support you in the area of transportation. If there's any material you need to transport from your office to the center, to the place where the venue where the training is holding, then you need to get them involved in that. The account department will play their own role of releasing funds at the right time. so that you won't be stuck at a particular time. So you have to keep in touch with them so that they will release funds on time to you for the effective running of that program. Then the maintenance department, if there is anything that is not functioning well, for example, the projector, the laptop is not functioning well, they need to keep them in check, maintain them, lose them and check whether they are functioning well, whether their lights are bright. So they need to do that very well. But extra services, if you have a hotel or a guest facility within your office there, then you will do what? Send requests to them for some of the participants that we want to be what? Be, a house of reservation in your hotel or in your guest facility. So you send requests to them to keep a number of rooms for them. Then prepare name tags if nominations are received in advance or soon after commencement of program. Name tags are very important so that you won't be addressing participants commonly with you, sir, you call the person, identify the participant with his name. That will help you to build a good rapport with the participant. You have a good connection with your participants. So build up, prepare that name tag, and so that each participant bears his name and the name tag is placed on his desk. So that at any time you want anything from the participant, or you want the participant to respond to one particular thing or the other, you mention his name. Then draft the opening ceremony, including program orientation speeches. Opening program speeches has to be drafted. You will draft it. Perhaps maybe a DG or your CEO will come to open the program, then you have to read the opening program to welcome your participants. As a coordinator, you do that. Then during the program activities, now that one is for the before program activities. Now let's talk about the during program activities. The coordination of venue, arrangement of seats, and setting of the stage for workshop opening is very, very important. You will do that, ensure that these things are put in place. The registration of participants and distribution of handouts is very, very important. You register the participants and distribute a handout. Invite management and CEO for the opening ceremony. We invite the CEO to come to open the program officially. They conduct climate setting or rapport with the participants and also take them on facility tour. Like we have, you conduct climate setting. What do I mean by climate setting? You take them, you set the rules in the class. Then you make, you nominate or elect who becomes your class governor or your class president or your class leadership. You do that and set out the rules, the do's and don'ts. Then ask them of their expectations for the class, for the training program. What do they expect and what do they intend to take home after this training program? Those are the class climate settings. Make them comfortable, make them interact with one another. That is the essence of coming to that kind of events. Now, take them on facility tour. Yeah, you need to take them to the facility tour so that you show them in cases of emergency that this is the easy route, this is the assembly point, and this is our hotel. These are our conveniences. We have convenience 1 for the female, convenience 2 for the male. These are these. In case if they have 2 of them are occupied, you can also make use of this. You have to take them to a tour of the facilities so that they will be informed and be much a little bit, at least a bit about your organization. Okay. Now insist on 100% attendance as the basis for certification. Monitor attendance and participants' participation. Like the coordinator has said, that attendance must be 100%. For you to earn the certificate or your certificate, you must show evidence that you participated in this training program at least 100%. So insist on 100% attendance as the basis for certification. Monitor attendance. Clearly, I heard group 2 said during the activities, during the training program activity, attendance has to be monitored strictly. So you make sure you monitor the attendance strictly. So participants will come in the morning, sign in and run away, and only come later in the evening to come and sign up and go. They think they are doing the coordinator. No, you are doing yourself because you paid for the program and you're not getting anything from that. So make it a tight schedule that you hold it as a coordinator. Keep it to yourself. If I don't see your face in the class, you will not sign. If I will meet you on your desk, you will sign. Anybody that does not sign at that moment means that the person was not in the class. So make it a point of duty to do that. Then supervise and monitor catering services. It is very important. Sometimes you engage these caterers, you discuss a particular standard with them, and they go on to be giving you less of the standard you have when you discuss with them. So make sure that the caterers deliver exactly what you agreed with them, so that they will not shortchange your participants. Remember that the success of the training program will also be is also partly affected by the quality of the catering services. If the quality of the catering services is low, it's going to get on your program low. So remember, you have to do all of this and do it diligently. Then give special attention to participants' needs and render related services. Participants that have special needs, please give attention to them. More especially those ones that are diabetic. So you don't give them the common food other person eats. So find a way to bring the food that you know they will eat. And of course, you have to do this on time, right from the registration time, so that you get the information on time and prepare for them. Set ground rules and elect class executives. Remind each resource person of his or her session regularly and at least a day ahead. Very, very key. Introduce the facilitators and resource persons. Introduce the facilitators and resource persons. Very, very important. Then produce participants list. Ensure facilitators rating is done. Ensure that the participants rate the facilitator. It's a sign of, it's a sort of feedback to the facilitator that he has done well in this area, he has not done well in this area, he needs improvement in this area. So it's a good thing that you do this. Then carry out a recap of previous sessions on daily basis before the beginning of the day's session. Now, after today, assuming this training program extends to tomorrow, now the whole session that I delivered today, we'll have it in the morning before the day's program. We have it as a recap. You recap all the sessions that are done today, that are taken today, tomorrow morning, first thing tomorrow morning before tomorrow's business. Then coordinate taking of group photographs, prepare workshop certificates, very, very important. Then on the last day, particularly on the last day, ensure the participants evaluate and appraise the performance of the workshop. Distribute participants' list of addresses, group photographs, and course certificates. Provide traveling details, e.g., flight schedule, fares, etc. to the participants on request. Preparation of action plan by the participants is very, very important. Prepare the action plan. Then let's talk about the post-program activity. That's the last after program activity. That's the 3 activity. Now return all audiovisual materials, excess stationaries, and other unused materials to the store. You return them to the store. Retire accounts for the advance or loan granted. The account must have given you some advance, assuming your budget has not been prepared, has not been approved. They advance some kind of fund to you, use in that program. Now, it is your duty as a coordinator to return, even if your budget has been approved and have been fully funded. It is your duty to do what? Retire the account as soon as the workshop is over. You come back and explain to them in a written form that I expended this social amount in social item, for social item I spent this, for social this I spent this, and these are the receipts, these are the evidences of the species. You show it, and that is retirement. Then review the participants' evaluation of workshop. You review the participants' evaluation of the workshop, the general workshop, how did it fare? Was it a success? Was that any failure at all? So through the review, you will now know that. Then activities after training, preparation of training reports, prepare training reports, follow up and monitor the performance of the participants on the job. Now we are talking about impact evaluation. Follow up and monitor the performance of the participants on the job. That is another pay for you. If you sign a training contract, and the organization, some of the organizations will tell you, yeah, we will pay you for even a follow-up. You measure their impact on the job, impact of the training on the job. Some of them will have been performing very low on the job before the training. At the end of the training, we expect that those lapses, the poor performance would have gone. The training would have been able to do what? To take care of all of those gaps. And then when you come to evaluate, if, for example, it's somebody that has not been able to type, to use computer effectively, and after the training, he has been trained on ICT on how to use computer application, has been trained on how to use computer, and the person can now be able to use computer effectively. So the impact is that ability to use that computer. That is the impact. Now you see that that gap that have existed have been closed. And there is performance gap that he was not able to use computer before he set out for that training. But now that he has returned for the training, he has been able to use computer and can use computer effectively. Okay. Now, qualities of a good training coordinator. A training coordinator is expected to be highly effective and efficient instead of his or her duty. Stephen R. Covey in 1989 identified the 7 habits of highly effective people, followed by the 8 habits in 2004. The coordinator must possess all these traits in the discharge of his or her duty. So these traits are what we believe that the coordinator must possess. The coordinator must be proactive. He must begin with the end in mind. He must be visionary, somebody who can begin to reason what may happen in future. The action he is taking today, what it may lead to. If you begin to take some kind of drastic action, you must be able to do what? To listen, to see the future impact of that action. Then you must put first thing first. You take things gradually. First thing first, not number 3, then number 1, then number 10, then number 8. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You must be meticulous. You must take first thing first. Take them one after the other. Sequentially, we coordinate. You have to be organized. You have to exhibit that organizing skill. Then think win-win. In everything, you must not, take it up. In the negotiation process, for example, you're going to negotiate with the caterer. You're going to negotiate with the venue owners. Then you must think, if it becomes so difficult that negotiation has gone so difficult, so that you don't agree, they don't agree with you, and you don't agree with them, then why don't you just look at the difference, the variation there, slice it into 2, and each party will bear the cost, and the other one will bear the loss. That is a negotiation. Think win-win. Now, seek first to understand, then be understood. Listen to people. Your team, support team, you need to listen to them. You need to listen to your participants. You need to ask them. You need to listen to them, pay attention to them. Then synergize, work together with them, the support team, which has participants, so that you know their needs. Synergize with them. Then sharpen the saw. Train, because remember that the support team are also learning from you. You are grooming them one way or the other. So they are training them, you are learning, they're learning after you. So be sure that you don't make mistakes along the path. Train them and groom them well. Then find your voice, inspire others to find theirs. And that is very good when you find your voice and then inspire others to find them. You arrive that height and then demand that they will also be perfect in carrying out those activities. Okay. Now the quality continues there, but because of lack of time, I will go to this one very particular session. It's like considerations for a successful program. For a program to be successful, the coordinator must take into consideration certain factors, e.g., the audience, the resource persons, or the speakers or facilitators, and the venue. Very key, very, very key. The audience, resource persons, or facilitators, and speakers, and then the venue. The resource team. The resource team may be internal or external, or a blend of both. You may have sometimes internal resource team, facilitators, or external facilitators, or a blend of both of them. Then the main criteria for their selection is their knowledge of the subject matter, the experience and delivery skill. I keep saying it. You do not need to compromise in this area. You must make sure that the facilitators they are bringing in to facilitate in your class, in delivering sessions, are those who are knowledgeable in the subject area. Those who are knowledgeable in the subject area and they have the skill to deliver. It is the emphasis there. Then without appropriate delivery skills, the knowledge of the resource person with all the experience may be of little or no value without appropriate delivery skill. Knowledge, no matter how knowledgeable the facilitator is, it might amount to nothing. Now, it is necessary to guide resource persons on what should be covered by providing them with an outline. Sometimes the coordinator will put an outline for each session. Say, please, sir, be guided in this area. Look into this area. That's an outline given here. The resource persons need to know how they have been evaluated to help them make further improvements. Like I said, we also need to be evaluated. When you evaluators go back home to study it, look at the evaluations, which should be objective and not subjective. When we look at it, we see areas that need improvement. We'll improve on that. And see areas that we've done well, and then we'll keep improving and doing well and doing better there. So the training budget is the next we're going to discuss. Organizations' training budget determines to an extent the success of the training program. If the training budget is well funded, then the program may succeed. To an extent, the success of the training program does not depend solely on the funding, on the budget, how large the budget is. No, it depends on a whole lot of activities. One, the facilitators, are they competent to handle the sessions? The budget, you should not lack anything in the class. That is true. The coordinating team, they must be up and doing. They must be up and doing. They must take them. They must do that. Then the cleaners must perform their job. Of course, there are the set of people that will tend to neglect most times, but they are very key in the success of the training program. If the cleaners do not clean the hall where we do the training, then you come back and find out that you come in there and find out that the whole environment is filtered. I mean, is filled with feet, and then we cannot be comfortable staying in that kind of environment to actually do what? Learn. So the cleaners are very important. They're very essential, but sometimes we tend to forget people of that gather. Okay, the security is also very important. There are people that we also tend to forget. Constant. Now, a budget is a tool for planning. A budget is a tool for planning. It shows how resources are allocated to each item on the budget. That's what the budget does. It shows how much goes for catering services, how much goes for the facilitators, how much goes for the coordinators and support teams, how much goes for the venue, how much goes for this and that. So the budget will show you that. And you do not exceed the budget. If you exceed the budget, that means you are paying for your pocket as a coordinator. So if you have to exceed the budget, you must have obtained approval from management before you do that, so that you can ask for reimbursement. And the budget serves as a guide to the coordinator as it helps him or her to identify amount of resources allocated to each item in the budget. Yes, a budget is an instrument for direct action and seeking management support. Very key. Now let's talk about the class size. Trainers are sometimes under pressure to admit very large number of trainees. A class should not accommodate more than it should carry. To facilitate learning, the class size should not be too large. We keep saying it. The what constitutes the optimal size is difficult to state, as experts suggest a figure of between 25 to 30. A class can accommodate moderately between 25 to 30 participants. You know, there are some instances where you have 40, 45, some have 50. If we have below, above this number, then no longer training, it's now conference. You are no longer in a workshop, because all of these people, some people will not be able to speak out because you have a large crowd. Some people will not be able to do what? Interact. You have a mix. But if you have a smaller number, as in 25 to 30, then they can be able to interact, they can be able to network among themselves. After that is the essence of coming for the training program. Okay. Challenges to successful program delivery. All these challenges are related to management and operations. Yes, sometimes management may delay in giving approval of the budget or releasing some certain resources. The resource persons will have challenges from the resource persons. Most times the resource persons that were accepted to come and deliver will disappoint you on the day. Sometimes due to the circumstances they cannot be able to control. Imagine somebody who has accepted to come to deliver your session, to take your session, and on that day, he lost a dear one. Will not be able to come. So how prepared What other alternative arrangement did you make in case if that facilitator fails you? That's something we should be thinking as coordinators. Then support staff, you may have challenges. Some support staff were very stubborn. Do this, they will not do that. They will do the other way. So you must be up and down, do it. You have to control. That's why you are a coordinator. You have to control, you have to lead. And you have to do what? Control, lead. You have to organize, you have to plan. Oh, someone is saying it's just okay. Please, can you see the slide? If you can see the slide, wave your hand. If you can see the slide, please wave your hand. The slides are not showing, please. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. They can see it now. And maybe it's from this network. Okay. Then facilities and logistic problems are also a kind of challenge. Sometimes they become very challenging. For example, the facility you rented, the ACs are not working. Then what do? They failed. So you have to do what? Make sure that they are fixed immediately. Then the target group can at a time become challenge to you. The target group can become a challenge to you. Now, in conclusion, the program administration is a tasking activity. It requires appropriate management support. It also requires collaboration among resource persons and the support team. Yes, you need to collaborate. You need to synergize resources. You need to work together. As a coordinator, work with your facilitators, their support team. They are very, very important. Even the caterers, the securities, the cleaners, they are very, very important. Program coordinators play important roles in ensuring high quality of program delivery. Yes. Coordinators need perseverance, hard work, good planning, and organizing skills. And at this point, thank you so much. God bless you. I don't know if you have any question. If you have any question, you can unmute yourself and ask before I sign off. If you have any question, unmute yourself and then go ahead. Any comments? Unmute yourself, make the comments, and then make your observation on. Okay. Or you raise your hand. If you have any challenge, any question, any concern, want to make any comments, raise your hand. Okay, Victor. Okay. What is he saying? Yeah, Victor, you are very sincere, and you actually said what one of the things I addressed here. The challenge you have is the question you pose is very correct. Now, sometimes you see that you engage a facilitator, a resource person, and on the D-Day, he or she fails you for a reason, that is not under his control. He cannot control that reason. For example, you see, he lost a dear one, or maybe something so painful happened that he can't be able to come to the class. Now, you need not to come to your class to tell your participants that social person, the facilitator is not around. And that's why, as a coordinator, you must try as much as possible to go through all the sessions, to be conversant with all the sessions. At that point, it's expected that the coordinator will move in. The coordinator takes care of that particular session. Except where he finds himself unfit to take care of that session, he can scan through and see somebody who will be able to take that. But you cannot leave your participants bare. You engage them with an activity Meanwhile, you are seeking the assistance of another facilitator who will quickly come to rescue. But at that time, it's expected that the coordinator should take care of that class. I don't know if my response is clear. Okay, Ismail, yeah, please go ahead. You have a question? Unmute yourself and go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. Yeah, my question is about the budget.
Yeah.
Now, you give us specifically the things that we need to put into before submitting our budgets. For example, the venue, the menu, the facilitator, the days involved in the training. Now, every facilitator, every trainer has or know how to present his or her training budget.
Yeah.
Yes. And for example, if you are asked to submit a budget for a training of about 100 people, your budget will be different from my budget, because the level at which you are will determine the budget I'm going to submit. Now, when it happened this way, the CEO or the one who is requesting for the training for your assistant, or is it going to be based on the, how do you call it, the training or the experience and the package that you submitted for him to discuss it, or is going to look at the ingredient that you put in to accept it? Because there's a competitions in the market right now. Everybody is trying to get something to do. So when it comes to this aspect of budget and then the selection, what should be my my expectation? That is my question.
Okay, if I got you right, you're asking if you are, as a coordinator, has built your budget and then you've imputed the cost of facilitation, for example, and then based on the capacity or competency of the facilitator, maybe the facilitator that is rated high in the market, and then you're paying higher. Now, submitting the budget to your CEO, and there's a query, why would this kind of amount go to the facilitator? So what will be your response? Is that what you're asking for? Hello, Mr. Ismail. Hello. There's interruption. Talk. Hello.
Yeah, you got me right. That's it. That's what I mean.
Okay, that's the question you're asking.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
You got me right. That is what I mean.
Okay, all right. Now, let me respond to it.
Hello, can you hear?
I can hear you, yes.
Me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Now, let me respond to it.
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I can respond to it now, right? Okay, now, being the coordinator, yes, you are in charge of that training program. You are in charge, yes. You have the authority to prepare the budget. Now, you should also realize that without approval given for that budget, that program will not run. So for the CEO to give approval for that program, he must see that there is a break-even for that program. After all, it's a project, an investment. You must see that after running the program, there is some kind of value addition in terms of the monetary benefits that that program is going to add to the purse of the organization. Now, you can go as far as, for example, if you have decided to use eminent facilitators that you know their cost is higher, Now, and looking at the type of the training program, who is that training program made for? For example, in this instance, let's consider a training program for the governors. You cannot bring anybody less of the standard of the governor. Come and facilitate there. You look after somebody who is either an elder statesman or a former president or the Senate or somebody who is notably high in the society. Come and deliver that program. Now it is for you to inform your CEO that this is a high profile program. This is a flagship program for the governors. We can't give them anything less. Of course, we've seen the figure they are paying. They're paying higher. Then if they are paying up to 5 million naira or 10 million naira for each program, and then you will now come when you now spend 200,000 naira to, keep them comfortable. Does that justify that? Well, the essence of being, making revenue for the organization? No, that is not fair. Now you should do something that will do what? Give them adequate services, and the quality of service delivery should be able to meet their demand. They are the governors, they are the people rated high in the society. And of course, it's expected that at least each of them, when they are going, give them an iPad as a surveillance. You will do that. So, and the CEO should understand this, but whereby you have explained to him, and he seems not to understand with you, then either you have two options, either to sign off politely from having that program, or you manage it the way you want, but bear in mind that you are the one in the sight of the governor. They are the one they know. They may not know your CEO, but you are the one they are seeing on a daily basis. So it's for you to convince your CEO, convince him that because of this level of participants, because of the status of these participants, we need to do something like this so that they keep coming. I don't know if you understand me. So you need to do that, convince him so that he buys into the idea, so that you will not ask whatever figure you will settle in the budget. Is for you to convince him that this program is for these people, for governors, and we are putting in this iPad as a souvenir for them. They're going to get each of them a souvenir in form of iPad, buy iPad for them, and so at the end of the day, they will go with it. So if they don't do that, remember they will not come back again. We in our organization, we've had calls to take them to Obudukato Ranch. That's where they would take them to Obudukato Ranch, Tinapa, and that's what the training was conducted. So for people of that caliber, you have to do extraordinary thing. Thank you so much. Just mismanagement. Okay, any other question? Okay, Victor says, okay, I've read the comment from Victor. It's been a nice day with you, sir. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Taiwo. Well done, the presenter. You have done much. Thank you, Mr. Chukudi. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. According to organizational structure and size, the training team may not be as, the training team must not be as large as mentioned during the training, yet they deliver. My question is, must a training team be made up of all facilities mentioned? Sorry, I'm taking it a little bit. Mentioned, okay. If not, what are the key facilities for any training? Okay. The key facilities for any training includes laptop. You must have a laptop. You must have a projector. You must have the projector screen. the projector screen. Or sometimes you can even decide to project on the white surface. Now, you must have microphone for a large number of participants. I mean, large number class, you can have microphone so that you'll be able to speak to them. Then you must have a, what again? Yeah, there should be internet service in your class. There should be internet service. There should be a call for what kind of research activity that you can do that online. So these are the facilities that you must have. Then the training room must be conducive for learning. There should be adequate ventilation. The AC must be functioning. It must be functioning. Then the environment must be neat and kept clean at all times. Okay, so I don't know, maybe we have some other things to add to this. That is for May Henshaw. Thank you, May Henshaw. Thank you so much. Then thank you, sir, for your answer. Thank you. Okay. I think in today's world, programs should be blended, that is virtual and physical presence, so that if a facilitator disappoints by not being here or by not being there live, he can deliver his presentation. Okay. Okay, you're responding. Yes, but we also, okay, but as an alternative method of the facilitator doesn't come. Yeah, the truth is this. The facilitator, for not being able to come to the class, there must be a reason. If it's a facilitator that lost a tier 1, and you see that the state of being of that facilitator is not coordinated at all, even if it's online, we have done the virtual training, you'll not still be able to perform. Okay, but if it's for other reasons, maybe like he couldn't be able to access the venue, yes, he can stay wherever he is to do the training. Yes, I agree with you. But if the facilitator is emotionally troubled, at that moment, he's not emotionally balanced, so he cannot even if he brings online, he cannot be able to do it. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm saying by that. Thank you. Oh, I think she means facilities, sir. Okay, but thank you for the enlightenment, sir. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Evaluation form, therefore, T&D. Okay. There's evaluation form there, yeah. Okay. So they're expected to fill complete evaluation form online. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much. I don't know if any of you have any other question before we sign up. Okay, in the absence of any other person, thank you so much and God bless you. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful section, I trust. Chukwu Diokanya, I said serious traffic hold up can disrupt the timely arrival of the presenter. Okay. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so we are going on a very big break, but the evaluation form has been posted for day 4. So kindly evaluate for the first 2 sections, and then we are coming back. Yes, sir. All right, well done. Sorry, I needed to get the consent of the facilitator on the break period. We're supposed to have 1 hour, but due to the technical issues we've been having since morning, we will reduce the break to 40 minutes. So we'll be reconvening by 2:30. We'll be coming back by 2:30. So kindly take the assessment or perhaps evaluation, yes, for the 2 sections, and then we can go on break and return by 2:30. Please, if you don't have a group yet, kindly indicate now by typing 00 so that we know where to put you. So group, the online group, we're only grouping you into 2. The third group refused to respond. So we are only grouping you to 2 groups. So if you don't have any group, kindly type 00. Also note that active participation in this class is part of the requirement for the certification. So if you're not in any group, you might be hindering your own processing of certification. So if you don't have a group, kindly type 00. Let's let the group people send their link now so that you can join. We can put you in. So everyone has a group. Okay, can everyone please? Oh, I'm audible. Okay, please can everyone type their group in the chat room? Just type your group. If you're group 1, write 1. If you're group 2, write 2. So let's know. Can everyone type their group? If you're group 1, you type 1. If you're group 2, you type 2. If you're not in any group, type 0.